Oh man, where where do we begin with this one? The new slogan, which is "Stay alert, control the virus, save lives." Talking about stay alert. What is this? Are we in Metal Gear? Are we trying to take over the tanker? Are we on the big shell? Man, talking about stay alert. Oof. Is somebody there?
Stop kidding around.
Madge! Madge! Madge!
Oh, I don't know what happened there. But oof, that one. Yeah, I've got to do better to stay alert. And yeah, let's just. The advice is given is I did see a flowchart about it where it was just basically saying like if you can't go to work safely, don't go to work and stuff. What if your boss says you have to come into work? You don't have a car. You live in a city. You're relying on public transport. What do you do then? What do you do when other people around you aren't wearing masks? Do you not go into work then? And so I've seen this tweet from Emily Mallet. She's getting a lot of stick. To be fair, she's actually questioning the government. You got bots like this guy, nostalgic liberal. What are you nostalgic for, mate? And she, Emily Matler's tweeting, what I'm struggling to understand is if all the confusion sown last night was unintended, so this is about the PM speech, would have been on the 10th, was intended or part of a larger strategy of deniability, we will give you the chance to make your own choices. Please don't blame us for what comes next. And I think she's right. But it gets worse. It gets worse. How do you get worse than stay alert, control the virus, yeah? And save lives, yeah? How do you get worse than that? The power is in your hands. Keep washing them. Stay alert. Control the virus. Save lives. The power is in my hands, What is this? Am I He-Man? No, you don't, He-Man. You didn't wash your hands with soap. You don't have the power. You're going to cause a pandemic rolling around like that, man. Come on, bro. And so, we can see since Boris Johnson's announcement about people going back to work, you can see buses being packed out, no one wearing a mask here because it's not mandatory, and people have access to them, no face coverings, because people want the government to tell them what to do, and the government are like, wear one if you want. Like, no, other countries, Germany, who's dealt with this better than, I think, most Western countries, are saying everyone has to wear a face covering if you go outside. What are you waiting for, Johnson? You're waiting for a written invitation. And here we got some tubes that are packed out. So if we go here, I mean, look at this. No one's social distancing. There's no space here. If you've ever been on a tube, there's no space. And everyone's like, use your common sense. Boris Johnson's telling people, use your common sense. And I'm not going to say these people don't have common sense. It's not their fault. And people saying, oh, just don't go into work then. Your boss is a scumbag. It's like, yes, their boss are scumbags. But the government haven't put in legislation to say that, look, if you can't get to work safely, you don't have to go in. We'll keep you on furlough. The government haven't done that. So if you're a person where you work in manufacturing that's reopening properly, or whatever industry you're working in, and your boss says you need to come into work, you ain't got a car, or you live in a city, you can't drive into work, traffic's busy. What do you do? What do you do then? You got a child. No child. You can't go to a childminder because you have low access to them. Nurseries aren't open. Schools aren't open. What do you do? What do you do in that situation? What's the common sense argument to that? And so if you want to see the people who don't have common sense, we'll jump to these people here. Oh, one sec, that's the wrong one. This one is the right one. Question, do these people have common sense? These guys have common sense. And so the point being is here, and this is a separate video, I'll talk about how you remember veterans that sacrificed so much by not going inside, not staying inside and doing what you're told, and not spread and stopping to spread the virus. But yeah, this is just ridiculous out here, and man saying stay alert and all this stuff.
It was nothing. All clear.
The situation is normal. All clear.
It's bizarre, and look, we've got political pundits who are confused by this. How are the public supposed to decipher this? Public transport that's not built for purpose hasn't been built for purpose for a long time. and now you're saying go on the don't go on the bus unless you have to. People have to. So yeah, this is a joke. If you live in the city, if you live in London, this is the reality. I know you've got people down here, forward the light brigade. Yeah, I remember that. That was bad. Yes, and they're not maintaining social distancing. And he said they should. He also said should remain in place. The government can't micromanage every person, but the government knew if you send people back into work, this is what the outcome would be. If you live in a built-up city, they're saying they want schools to open by June 1st. Teachers are like, no, we can't be doing that, bro. We don't have the provisions. Are you going to give people masks? You know, if you're sent back into work, are your employers going to give you masks, gloves, and other forms of PPE? If the answer is no, you shouldn't have to go back into work, regardless. And so, yeah, this has been my look into the government's stupid slogans. You know, you had some good ones. I'm not going to lie, Cummings. You had some good ones. You know, take back control, our money, laws and borders, all that stuff. Yeah, you had some good ones, but stay alert. You know, am I Metal Gear, bruv? Am I Metal Gear? Real talk. Are we in a game? Is this Red Dead Redemption? Am I looking out for the Pinkertons? You know, I want to say this is. You know, I hope this whole thing goes soon and everyone's clear. And you know, but this is ridiculous from a government. I mean, look at this. Come on, man. You can't be serious. The power is in your hands, He-Man. Come on, bruv. You know, people saying stop it. You know, someone beat me to this one. I just. You know, this is true though. Suggest herd immunity and have it met with a huge public outcry. Implementing a weak lockdown procedure with vague and hard to enforce rules and eventually give up on. Oh yeah, and side note, where is it gone? Where are the police? Where are the police? And finally, we'll end on this. What's his name? Bridgen. Andrew Bridgen doesn't understand the lockdown rules either. So I'll make sure the volume's nice and loud so you guys can hear this. This is Piers Morgan ripping Bridgen.
My two sons I haven't seen in 10 weeks. Can I go see them today and maintain 2 metre distance, yes or no?
As far as I would be concerned, I do not speak for the government. As long as you maintain social distancing in what you do, that will not allow
the problem, Andrew Bridgen. You see, what you've just said is completely against the new rules, as stated. So there you are, a Conservative Member of Parliament who thinks you know exactly what Boris Johnson has been saying, and yet you just told me to do something I'm not allowed to do. So this is the problem, isn't it? There is no clarity. It's a load of old flannel talking about controlling the virus, and you, as a leading, high-profile Conservative politician, haven't got a clue.
And so, Bridgen, where's your common sense, mate? Where's your common sense? You know, it's clear. Well, you can only see one family member from outside your family that live in a different household, and you have to keep 2 meters apart. Bridgen, where's your common sense, bro? You're a Tory MP. You're part of the government, technically. You're part of the leading party, the ruling party. Where's your common sense, bro? Remember what these guys have done to this country and how badly they've led us. Remember how little they helped the NHS, and when the NHS asked for help, they told them, go it alone. When healthcare workers still aren't getting help, still aren't getting enough PPE, and they're like, we need to stay alert, control the virus. How are we supposed to control the virus when we're not getting the supplies and stuff we need?
Enemy sighted. Requesting reinforcements.
People talk about Corbyn would have messed this one up. I don't think he could have messed this up. What? The only way he could have messed this up more is if he actually followed Tory dogma and didn't furlough people and didn't shut down the country. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one. There's going to be a bit more work put into this video than usual, and I'm going to have a bit more fun with it. So I hope you don't see it as me mocking anyone apart from the people leading this country, because they deserve mockery because they've messed this up. And you can say that, look, now's not the time to try and make people laugh about this or mock or whatever. But if you don't start laughing, you will cry at the absurdity of this situation. So I'm going to leave it there, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.